Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Pranisha Janjua and I am your host for this part of the evening. May I welcome you all to this magnificent hall. This evening we are honoring our distinguished guest, the High Sheriff of the City and County of Bristol, Dr. Shaheen Chowdhury, JP. The proceedings will be presided over by His Excellence Dr. Lord Shaukat Khan, the Chairman of Walthamstow Forest Pakistani Community Forum. I now invite His Excellence Dr. Shaukat Khan to formally welcome our special guest this evening. Dr. Khan, as you know, has been very active in the local, national and international organizations for many years. And if I was to list all such, I will be here all night, so I'll just invite him to address. Thank you. Let's have a
Madam High Sheriff, Peace Sahib, Chowdhury Sahib, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a privilege and pleasure to welcome a distinguished guest to this part of the world. I met Dr. Shaheen Chowdhury a few months ago in Bristol at a function where we had the chance to discuss and know about the role and responsibilities of the High Sheriff. The word sheriff means a lot to me because once I was the Sheriff of Nottingham, the very notorious position, and searching for Robin Hood everywhere since. And I was delighted to know when she kindly accepted our invitation to be here. And I'm also grateful to Chowdhury Sahib, her husband, who has been very supportive and very understanding and very helpful in this process. Dr. Sahib brings a new kind of life to political arena in our country. Many of us who hold position in politics at all levels, whether it is the local government, whether it's the central government, Lords or European. But it's very rare that you get somebody who is in a position of non-elected position, but appointed by Her Majesty the Queen. And the more I know about her and her career, the more impressed I am. This afternoon I had the honor and opportunity to interview her on TVapex TV, and I'm very grateful to Dr. Chowdhury Sahib, who has always been very supportive of community events and community participation in TVapex, and they are very kindly filming this evening. And as we went through her career and her life, I found that there was far more than this very simple face that we were seeing. Her role in health services, her role in community and youth work, her role in academia and in legal work, very impressive. And we share a number of things in common. One, that we're both grandparents. Two, we both have holding a position or held a position which has a common name, as I said, the Sheriff. Three, that our commitment to working with young people and alleviating poverty at all levels. And fourthly is that our enthusiasm and passion for engaging communities of all levels. We are obviously in Waltham Forest, where we have one of the largest communities is Pakistani community. But and my colleague here, Councillor Farooq Qureshi, and Councillor Asghar represent different political parties, but we are also, I think, united in one sense that we need to serve our community. We need to help develop our community. We are very much behind. I think particularly when we look at Pakistani community, we don't have that many things to be proud of. Primarily, mostly are things which are our own creation and so on. Yet we have enthusiasm, energy, willpower and dedication. We are very, very hard-working people. The only tragedy is that our hard work is used not positively often all the time, but yet we can be very creative and so on. So the role for civic leaders becomes very important. Councillor Farooq Qureshi, who was a former mayor of this borough, will obviously support me in saying that working within community is not an easy task. It's a very hard and tough task, particularly in our own communities where we have many divisions, many different interest groups. Yet we need to survive, we need to do something, and collectively we have to do it. So, Madam, you are an inspiration to us in that field, that you have done so much for your own community, and your community and my community. We don't mean just Pakistani, just not Asian, but all the communities. We are here part of the larger community. We are here part of that system and structure that where we not only benefit, but we have role and responsibilities. And we must carry those responsibilities very carefully, very sensibly, and with clarity of purpose, because with that one, we are either labeled good or bad. And I think that it will be a tragedy that if we lose this opportunity when there is a lot of momentum, a lot of things like that. Many of our colleagues, councillors who are not here because they are tonight fighting for their survival in their local wards, because they're being selected or deselected or one thing or another. That's the beauty of the democracy in this country and so on. And we, at the end of the day, all of the people in the civic responsibility, political responsibility, owe their positions to the community and public, and we must never forget that. And I think the important thing is that we educate and train our own people in maximizing those opportunities and so on. It's not very good to hear that the only one area or two areas where we are on the top, that's the crime and underachievement. And I think we need to redress that, and we need to help build up communities, build up support, so that we reverse that trend. One time there was that we were the second best in education and so on, but now there is something wrong. So we need to collectively look at those things and so on. The role of mosque, the role of community organization, the politician, the business people, all are very important part of it. In that sense, it's people like you, Dr. Saiba, that people will look up to and look up for as inspiration and role model. And we are very delighted and very happy to receive you here, and very much hope that your day here this afternoon and this evening would be one of a memorable one, and hopefully that you take good sort of messages and good memories from us. Welcome, and hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite Mr. Amjad Mirza Amjad to recite a poem in Taranum of course. Mr. Amjad is the General Secretary of Walthamstow Forest Pakistani's Community Forum, a well-known poet, writer, journalist, and community worker. He has 12 books to his credit and is now preparing a major book on all UK and European-based poets and their work. A very active local community worker, Mr. Amjad Mirza Amjad. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you very much. चूँकि मैं एक बुनियादी तौर पर पंजाबी हूँ, और अक्सर ये सुना गया है कि जो मादरी ज़बान हो उसमें दिल की बात अच्छी तरह कही जाती है। तो मैं इजाज़त चाहूँगा मोहतरमा डॉक्टर साहिबा से, मुअज़्ज़ज़ मेहमानों से अर्ज़ किया कि मैं की दसा देश मेरे दे लोकी किंजो रहंदे, मैं की दसा देश मेरे दे लोकी किंजो रहंदे ने, बेरोज़गारी महंगाई ते भुखां बहुतियां सहंदे ने, रिश्वत खौरी कतल ते डाके बेमारी लाचारी नूं, रिश्वतखोरी कतल ते डाके बेमारी लाचारी नूं सीने ला के सब कुछ सह के मूहों कुछ ना कह देंगे। हर बंदा नेफे दे विच पिस्तौल छुपाई फिरदा है, हर बंदा नेफे दे विच पिस्तौल छुपाई फिरदा है, अपने परछावे तो ही हुण लोकी डरदे रहंदे। और शेर ते गौर करो, हर मस्जिद के बूहे अगे गनमैन दा पैरा है, हर मस्जिद के बूहे अगे गनमैन दा पैरा है, अल्लाह दे कर जानिया भी हुण लोकी डरदे रहंदे। हर मस्जिद के बूहे अगे गनमैन दा पैरा है, अल्लाह दे कर जानिया भी हुण लोकी डरदे रहंदे ने। ते निहायत खूबसूरत शेर है जो हालात आंदा पाक है कि अजब जमाना आ गया लोगों, पहले गोले फटदे सन। अजब जमाना आ गया लोगों, पहले गोले फटदे सन, हुण निक्की जही गल ते हाथां बंदे फटदे रहिंदे। अजब जमाना आ गया लोगों, पहले गोले फटदे सन, हुण निक्की जही गल ते हाथां बंदे फटदे रहिंदे ने। और आखिरी शेर है, किस बंदे नूं चुनी अमजद, किस नूं लीडर मनीए हो, किस बंदे नूं चुनिए अमजद, किस नूं लीडर मनीए हुण, ए लोकां दियां लाशां उत्ते कुर्सी ढा के बैठे।
Thank you, Mr. Amjad. That was a very, very beautiful ghazal और आपने बहुत खूबसूरत तरीके से पेश किया इसको. And I think what you've done is you've also summed up how the Pakistanis living in Britain or the British Pakistanis feel. So very well done and thank you. Apex TV is playing a very important and effective role in areas of community cohesion. This evening we are delighted to have its Chairman and Chief Executive, Dr. Sahib Chithai, who will share his thoughts on the theme of community cohesion. Why is it important? Dr. Chithai by profession is an orthopedic surgeon, so let's welcome him on the stage now to have his few words.
Mr. Mahmood Chaudhary and Dr. Shaheen Chaudhary, the High Sheriff of Bristol County, Lord Shaukat Nawaz Khan, and the Federal Minister, ex-Federal Minister of Pakistan, Peer Nazrul Haq Saab, and also the Director of Global Net 21, Francis Seeley, is here. I have to translate a few of the things back to him afterwards and dinner perhaps. But I think you got the emotions and passions of the gentleman who sung the poetry. He tried to narrate, connect back to the country through his way, and the words don't need translation. He was enough to portray the way from the way he sounded. Now, I'm going to touch on something I feel very passionate about, which is community engagement. So, what is community engagement? It's a very, very simple definition, that you allow people to communicate on better terms and conditions, and then you enhance that communication. You strengthen that communication by further opportunities. One example is this place. This place was built up by money of people, common people. And common people are sitting here. That is one community, the political definition of community engagement. And I'm sure Peer Nazrul Haq Saab can take this message home from us as well. That people's money spent on people is a political community engagement. I really appreciate this democracy. Now, why community engagement? Why do we do it? Well, there are benefits of it. Community engagement is basically empowerment of community. If I can just take attention of Peer Nazrul Haq Saab. Community engagement is basically empowerment of community on different fronts. For example, you educate people, you give opportunities for them to be educated. You give economic opportunities, you create jobs. You let people know, here is an economic opportunity, here's a job opportunity. You give them cultural awareness. I mean, a lot of things in the the country, the world, are because of the shadow, the wall between different cultures. There's ambiguity. What do they do? How do they think? So community engagement allows those walls to go down. So it's worth it. Let's not forget the social engagement, because you probably see ladies stuck in home, just meeting the milkman and the postman. Never see people. Mental disorders in this country are on the rise because there is no outlet. So there's a social reason for community engagement as well. So if I sum it up, why is this important? There is this educational reason, there is economic reason, there is cultural reason, and there is this social reason. And I will not go into many more reasons. I think these four are enough to start and initiate any project which has community engagement as the basis of it. Now, how do we do it? The problem is quite massive, because the dynamics, the pace, the direction of society has changed. Now we are talking of communities far bigger than we had before. A village with 10 houses, we don't see beyond that. A village with 30 houses, fine. Towns, but we are talking about the world here. We are talking about 2.3 billion internet users out of 7 billion. That is the size of community I'm talking about. And by 2020, 95% of people will be on the internet. 95%. So they will be keyboard away from you. You press a button and you reach a big proportion of them. So this is 34% of whole world now sitting as one community at this stage. And 2020, 95% people engaging together. Let's talk about that community. How can we reach them? How can we tap potential of them? If people here in the crowd can reach 0.01% of that 7 billion community, you've touched millions. And this is the power we're talking about. Now, how do we do it? I mean, to keep it short, there are many channels, all the electronic channels. But I want to pick one particular dynamics, which is internet TV channel. Now, there are many types of internet TV channels. You can have your home webcam converted into a TV channel, or you can have a production team behind your projects to relay your message across the world. So there's a range of TV channels. A web-based computer, your mobile phone, supposed to be working on some YouTube channel, or you can expand it with a production team behind you. Now, how we did this in TVapex, I mean, we have not been asking people to invite. We are invited because people felt the need, they felt the power of TV channel. A year and a half ago, I started the project. I felt that being an orthopedic surgeon, I could see in the patient's eyes, I could do a lot more. I could reach further beyond that medical community. Being a doctor, I was able to connect to patients in different clinics in Ireland through video conferencing. I can see patients in Scotland, for example, who could not be sent to me. There were selections made out, okay, this patient, send over, that patient, let the GP treat him. So that was the community I was connected through remote controls or video conferencing. And that gave me the idea, let's connect the world. So we started this project back in 2012. I think Dr. Sab is witness to that. A small place we scrapped down, and then I developed a studio, an auditorium, and 3,500 square foot place I developed. And I'm also a Microsoft certified instructor for medical community in Europe, and that knowledge helped me to develop infrastructure. Eventually, now the studio, the auditorium, we have 9 softwares working behind this channel, which means I can work with minimum workforce. I can replace people by softwares to cut down my costs. And now we've covered 400 plus events, community events like this, bigger, smaller, and then people come and watch that event on TVapex. Now, how do we engage communities? That's the question. It can be intra-community engagement. People like in one community, they can talk to each other.
or it can be extra community engagement. For example, if you see TVapex channel, there is one window saying showing now. In that window, you will see an Arabic program, you will see a British native program, you will see an Indian program, a Bangladeshi, a Pakistani, and all we need is just a lazy click to the next window to see what are these Arabs doing there now? What are these Turkish community doing? And this is that curiosity, because I have put the communities in that window which have some common interest. For example, Arabs, we like Arabic music as Pakistanis. Arabs like Indian food. British like Pakistani food. We like British dresses sometimes. So all these common interest triggers the suspense for you to jump over and click the window. Once you click it, it takes you 10 minutes to know how British celebrate Christmas, how Turkish do their Nowruz festival, how Indians do their Diwali, and what Pakistanis do when they have 14th August. So this lowers the wall. Instead of you saying, I don't know what they do. For God's sake, I don't know what the hell they do. Let's put the curtains down, look across the window, and see what actually they do. And this is the basis. And I think if I talk about it, you'll miss your dinner. I don't want to do that. This is a very passionate topic for me. I find the interest started from a medical profession. My IT skills helped me go through it. And there is TVapex. We don't need to be researching anymore to find where to go. We get calls, please come, have this event as your event, and we happily say yes. And this is the strength of the community engagement. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shuktai. Indeed, none of us want to miss our dinner, but that was a lovely talk. Thank you. Next up, we have Dr. Rashid Akhtar. He's a very active community worker, supporter, worker, and he has been supporting and encouraging young people and families to participate in the wider community through cultural and artistic activities. So let's have a round of applause for him.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dr. Shaheen Chaudhry, High Sheriff from Bristol, Joy Saab, Dr. Shokut Nawaz, Peer Saab from Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Rimsha has introduced me as a community worker. I don't know whether I qualify for that or not, but we have been trying a little bit work with the community, especially young children, and we have been trying to educate them in Pakistani way of life, Pakistani culture, and that's what the society, Pak Culture Society stands for. But lately we have been engaged in health activities and promoting education, and when I was reading about Dr. Shaheen Chaudhry, I found that some of the work she was doing was actually the same as our society is doing. So I'm pleased that we have met, and I hope that this collaboration or this understanding can be promoted further. There is a need, I feel, that Pakistani community, even in Britain, is not doing as good as it should, especially in education. Lately I was reading the figures, and I found out that out of the total national number of children going to university in the UK is over 7%, whereas in the Pakistani community it's only 3%, which is unfortunate. The other thing we have found recently is that the health of Pakistani community in this country is not very good. They have got more cardiovascular diseases, they've got more diabetic patients, and they've got more and more patients now for cancer. So these signs are actually alarming for community workers and the community itself, and I think we need to do a lot more than what we are doing today for raising awareness about diseases, raising awareness about sending children to school and education, higher education especially, because if we are living in the United Kingdom where each and every probably town has got a university. Why can't we send our children to university? I really don't understand this, that there are opportunities that we are not availing of them. I would like to express my thanks to Dr. Shaukat Khan for inviting me here, and I would like to say a big welcome to Dr. Shaheen Chaudhry and Mr. Chaudhry on behalf of my society and on behalf of the people of Waltham Forest, and also PSR, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid Akhtar. I do apologize, but when I was introducing him, I did miss out the fact that he's the chairman and president of PAC Cultural Society, and over the years he's been doing an excellent job with the activities that he holds on an annual basis. So thank you very much. Let's have another round of applause for him. Alright, next we have Bir Mazhar ul Haq, the former senior minister of Sindh, Pakistan for Education and Literacy. He is a member of Central Executive Committee of Pakistan People's Party, and by profession is a lawyer in Pakistan, and he would like to have a few words. So let's give him a round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency Dr. Shaukat Khan Sahab and Dr. Shaheen Chaudhry, Mr. Chaudhry and Dr. Chughtai, Puram Shehzad, Meena Khan and all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I thank this August forum to extend me this opportunity which I was not expecting, and was I'm really grateful to Dr. Shaukat Khan to have invited me. Otherwise, I was just visiting UK for my medical treatment, and Dr. Chughtai has been very helpful to me regarding my treatment through his very kind and precious advice. All of a sudden, I have been, asked to say something. Actually, I was not fully aware about today's program in details, but since Dr. Saab wanted me to say something about the role of Pakistani community living in UK, how they can play their positive role to build up the image of Pakistan in UK. It's a very sensitive topic, and a lot has been said by the Western media, and what to talk of our own people back home in Pakistan. Pakistan is not a safe haven, I admit, but it's not so bad as it has been displayed on the media, our own media. So I don't blame the others, the overseas media people, and before, they have already labeled us as terrorists. They have already labeled the Pakistani nation as a whole, that we are religious extremists, although each of you know that the Pakistanis living in all the 4 provinces and Kashmir and northern areas, they are not so extremist as far as religion is concerned. We are Shias, Sunnis, Deobandis, Barelvis. We have been living in Pakistan, and before that in the subcontinent, very peacefully, tolerating each other's way of life, religious views. Especially I belong to Sindh. I will speak about my province, that Sindh has been a place of Sufis, saints, and the land of liberalism. We have never hesitated in claiming that we are secular people. We can't have the ideal situation in Pakistan, but we can try to build up the atmosphere in Pakistan. I'm sorry that I have spoken a lot. Thank you very much. And inshallah we'll meet again. Inshallah.
Thank you, Mr. Pir Mazhar Ulhaq. That was a sudden and unprepared talk, but it was very nice, encouraging, and enlightening. May I now request Mr. Mohammed Chowdhury, who has, I understand, written a poem in Punjabi. Mr. Chowdhury is also the husband of our chief guest, so let's welcome him with warm applause.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम। मैं ऐसा कोई बड़ा शायर तो नहीं हूँ, उर्दू में बात करूँगा, थोड़ी सी पंजाबी में बात करूँगा, मगर ये कि जो हालात होते हैं, जो चीज़ें नज़र आती हैं, जो दिखता है, जो देखता है, जो सोचता है, वो बोलता है, वो लिखता है। तो पहले तो मैं अमजद मिर्ज़ा साहब को सुना है, हमारे जनाब फारूक कुरैशी साहब भी बड़े अच्छे शायर हैं, अल्लाह ताला इनका भी कलाम सुनेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। और दूसरे एक और शायर पीछे बैठे हुए हैं, वो भी पंजाबी में लिखते हैं। पहले तो इन शुरा के बारे में 4 शेर हैं पंजाबी च नहीं। ये शायर भी अजीब लोग होंगे, ये शायर भी अजीब लोग होंगे, दरिया नूं कुजे च बंद कर लेंदे। ये शायर भी अजीब लोग होंगे, दरिया नूं कुजे च बंद कर लेंदे, ते ख्यालां नूं पा के लफ्ज़ां दे लीड़े नंगे पिंडे उन्हां दे कर लेंदे। ये शायर भी अजीब लोग होंगे, दरिया नूं कुजे च बंद कर लेंदे, ते ख्यालां नूं पा के लफ्ज़ां दे लीड़े नंगे पिंडे उन्हां दे कज लेंदे। नहीं रहा जाऊंगा चुप इन्हां कोलों, नहीं रहा जाऊंगा चुप इन्हां कोलों, बेइंसाफियां जहां दे तक लेंदे, ते बखेर के अपने बुल्लां ते हासियां दी पंड हर हंजुआं दा अखीरां चों डक लेंदे। महबूब हो परोसर ते लफ्ज़ां दी बादा पल्ला जिहड़ा किसे उस्ताद दा पंड। Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chowdhury. I didn't understand all of it, but I do know that everyone found it very entertaining. So thank you very much for entertaining us today. Dr. Shireen Chowdhury has a very active career in health and social care. She has had many years of working in the private, public, and the voluntary sector, and has been involved in many charitable organizations. She has also had over 20 years of sitting as a magistrate on the Bristol bench. I would therefore now like to call upon our distinguished guest, Dr. Shireen Chowdhury, to say a few words. Let's have a warm round of applause for her.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Lord Khan, Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all the guests here, particularly to Mr. Amjad Khan as well, thank you very much for the very lovely poem that you framed for me, and I shall treasure it. I'm very humbled by coming here tonight and for all of you to see you all giving up your time as well at this on the evening as well. I'd like to thank Lord Khan as well for inviting me in the first place and giving me this opportunity to be here tonight. I think I'll start with my journey in terms of how I come to be where I am, and then I'll look at some of the issues that I've come across, and then finally end with what we can do work together. One thing I've learnt is that if you're the last speaker, you don't have to say too much because people have already said it for you. But just to reiterate that yes, I am from Pakistan. I was born in Quetta and I came here at a very young age. So I went to school from secondary school onwards and university in the city and county of Bristol. And my life really begins AM after marriage, because that's when I realized what the world was about. Before that, I was a young, naive girl who knew nothing of the world at all. But nevertheless, I did learn that as an Asian woman, I had to work twice as hard to achieve what I wanted to. And having a supportive father was very helpful, because he never stopped me from having any education, because he said it was my right. And it's already been pointed out by your good self that our children are not achieving what they should be. I think partly that is our fault as parents. To be brutally honest, that is the case, particularly with young girls as well. I find that girls are not, although they're better at education, they're not given the opportunity or the chance to really achieve their potential. I think it was Malcolm X who said, if you educate a woman, you educate generations. If you educate a man, you only teach one person. So that in itself tells us how important women education is. The last thing, the challenges for me as well, is to say that I may be the High Sheriff, the first female Asian Muslim High Sheriff in the 700 years of the Shrievalty. But this does not just belong to me. This honor belongs to all of us here and in this country as well. It belongs to all the Pakistanis, and I'm very, very privileged and proud to have this. And I ask you one thing, that you pray that I shall continue the next 6 months of my Shrievalty in the manner that I have done so, i.e. maintaining the good name of my country, my religion, and the Pakistani community as a whole. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shaheen. Sometimes I think Pakistanis and as the younger generation as well, we do need to be preached to, so thank you very much for that. And your speech was very inspiring, and indeed you're an inspiration to all of us. You're an inspiration to women, Pakistanis and Muslims, so thank you very much. And I think I'll hand it over to Dr. Shaukat Khan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rimsha, for doing a wonderful job this evening and taking us through all the proceedings. Thank you very much, Dr. Saiba, for coming and honouring us with your presence, and Chaudhry Saab, not only escorting the High Sheriff, but also being a poet and part of the proceedings here as well, and a wonderful one. And also I'm very grateful to Peer Saab. Apologize for putting you in a very awkward position, but politicians are never short of words, and particularly a senior and seasoned politician. But I'm also grateful to Dr. Saab, Dr. Suhail Chughtai Saab, for your presentation, and I'm sure that it's not just one-off thing, we need to build on that, and what you and Dr. Saab have said, there's a lot of things we need to do as a community together, whether we are in politics, business, in the media, in community service, or whatever, in whatever capacity. So that's very helpful. We're grateful to TVapex for honouring us this afternoon, for interviewing Dr. Saiba, and this evening recording this program. I'm sure that when this is presented to the wider community tomorrow soon, people will see part of us this afternoon or this evening. I'm also grateful to people who have come from far afield. Mansoor Saib, Ijaz Saib, Khawateen, ladies, some of you have come from long distance to hear our distinguished speaker, and also to Dr. Rashid and others, and Farooq Quraishi. Farooq Quraishi Saib is not only a councillor, but he's a senior colleague. He's my predecessor in this organization. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you well and safe journey, but do eat well as well. Thank you.
यहाँ पर डॉक्टर शौकत खान ने जो स्पीच की, उसमें उनका ज़्यादा फोकस यह था कि कम्युनिटी को आपस में ज़्यादा क्लोजली वर्क करना चाहिए, अपनी कम्युनिटी के लिए भी। और मैंने ये मशवरा दिया कि आप अपने इस स्ट्रेंथ से पाकिस्तान का इमेज यहाँ पर बेहतर बनाएं, क्योंकि वहाँ की अक्सरियत बहुत ही पीसफुल हैं, सादा मुसलमान हैं, वो मज़हबी इंतहा पसंदी में यकीन नहीं रखते, लेकिन वेस्टर्न मीडिया में पाकिस्तान को एक लेबल किया गया है कि ये ऐसा मुल्क है जहाँ पर मज़हबी इंतहा पसंदी है।
पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी इंग्लैंड के अंदर बहुत बड़ी तादाद में यहाँ पर मौजूद है और हमारे जो मसाइल हैं उनके लिए पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के अंदर कम्युनिटी वर्कर्स और इस तरह के लोगों को काम करने की बहुत सख्त ज़रूरत है। स्पेशली बच्चों को इस मुल्क में रहते हुए तालीम की तरफ तवज्जो दिलाने की और स्पेशली हायर एजुकेशन अच्छे मज़ामीन में पढ़ाने की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, जिसके लिए हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं और उम्मीद है कि पाकिस्तानियों के मसाइल के लिए कम्युनिटी कोहेजन और जो ज़िम्मेदार लोग हैं वो अपना काम करेंगे तो यहाँ पे कम्युनिटी बेहतर होगी।